The number of police helicopters flying in our region is to be cut by half under plans for a new National Police Air Service. 6 helicopters currently serve the east, but that will be reduced to just 3 in a move which will save millions of pounds. Neil Bradford reports.
They may be a vital part in catching criminals, but helicopters are also an expensive resource. Nationally, the number of helicopters will be reduced by a third, saving more than £15 million. Sergeant Russ Wolford is part of Essex's Police Air Support Unit. Earlier this year, his force joined Kent, Norfolk, Suffolk and Cambridgeshire in a trial where the nearest aircraft was sent to an emergency, regardless of which county it was from. He thinks the borderless approach can work.
Well, the borderless concept was largely successful because instead of forces operating as standalone counties, we were able to attend incidents in other counties of which we were actually the most appropriate resource.
There are 6 police helicopters serving our region. Essex, Suffolk, Norfolk and Cambridgeshire all have their own. Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire share theirs with Thames Valley Police, and Northamptonshire share with forces in the East Midlands. Under the new proposal, 1 helicopter based at RAF Honington would serve both Norfolk and Suffolk. Essex's helicopter would move to Southend, while Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire would all be served by the nearest available aircraft. The National Police Air Service will provide 24-hour cover with a 20-minute response time for 97% of the population. There will also be 3 spare aircraft. The so-called borderless service will begin next April. Neil Bradford, Anglia News.
A couple from Norfolk say their big day has been ruined because immigration officials won't let the groom's parents attend the wedding. They were due to fly over from Zimbabwe for the ceremony on Saturday, but their visitor visas were denied. Appa Patel takes up the story.
Every bride wants her big day to be perfect, but this bride knows hers won't be. Her future in-laws will miss the ceremony in Norwich on Saturday because they're not allowed in the country. Their son, Tezave, is more than disappointed. He'd paid nearly £2,000 for their flights from Zimbabwe.
It was devastating when we heard the news that they had been denied the visas for the second time. And it's an important day in anyone's life, and to have one's parents there it means the world, really.
I do think, I feel that it's blatant discrimination. And they're just not letting people come from what they think of as poor countries.
The couple, who work as a physiotherapist and speech therapist, are also saddened their son Gregory won't see his grandparents. The UK border agency say the groom's parents were refused visitor visas because they failed to provide evidence of their financial circumstances in Zimbabwe, something that's denied by the family. What's more, Tezave's parents, who are top civil servants, were allowed to visit in 2005.
I mean, would your parents have gone back?
But definitely. They're in active employment. My dad is college. He's a principal of a teachers training college, and they're in the middle of writing exams. And he is due to present those the results for the students at his college to the University of Zimbabwe in sort of middle November.
Having the whole family at their big day would have been the icing on the cake. With that not possible now, they're planning to Skype the ceremony live via the internet. Alpa Patel, Anglia News.
A former Essex County cricketer appeared at the Old Bailey today, charged with conspiracy to defraud. 22-year-old Mervyn Westfield from Chelmsford is accused of acting dishonestly during a match between Durham and Essex last September. It's said he bowled his first over in such a way that a certain number of runs were scored. The case was adjourned. A Suffolk MP today pressed transport ministers in the House of Commons to support the funding for a rail link between Lowestoft and London. The MP for Waveney, Peter Alders, said the so-called Beccles Loop is vital to the economic prosperity of the region.
Network Rail is expecting a £1 million contribution from Suffolk County Council, and subject to that going ahead, the funding is in place for this scheme and it should proceed on schedule.
New plans are in place to manage how the coastline along the east of England is used for things like fishing and offshore wind farms. The marine planning system stretches from Flamborough Head in Yorkshire down to Felixstowe in Suffolk. The aim is to maximise business opportunities whilst keeping activities environmentally friendly.
House prices in the east of England rose last month against the national downward trend. According to figures from the Land Registry, the cost of homes in the east rose by 1.3% between September and October. The average price is nearly £180,000, more than 7% higher than this time last year, and the biggest rise outside of London.
A charity trying to find out what's caused the death of several dogs in Norfolk say it's having a good response from owners. Scientists at the Animal Health Trust want to find out why dogs are becoming ill in areas including Thetford Forest and Sandringham.
There's been a sharp rise in the number of organ donors in the east. It seems a campaign to raise awareness of the organ donor registry has actually paid off.